Hello, Bashar.
I know you. Good day.
So a couple of years ago, I kind of went into this rabbit hole, if you will, of research for a project, and it got me obsessed with things that took my mind to a less than positive place, I guess. So it was fun to think about.
Well, you chose to go to a less than positive place.
I went there.
No circumstance actually takes you there. You choose to go there based on your belief system.
Do you have thoughts on human beings who let their minds drift to conspiracies all the time, and whether or not the presidential figure at the time
It's what I just said. If you are embedded with a negative belief system, you will gravitate towards seeing everything in life through negative lenses. Remember that all of these are real realities. You get the experience you focus on. So those that have the belief system that think that there are conspiracies around every corner will experience conspiracies around every corner. That's the version of Earth they will experience. We're not saying there are no such things as conspiracies. Of course there are, because conspiracies themselves are usually the product of negative belief systems in the way that you typically refer to conspiracies on your planet. Of course, anytime anyone gets together with anyone else and goes in a similar direction or discusses something of a similar content, technically speaking, that's a conspiracy. Conspiration, co-spire, breathe together. Anyone that is doing anything with someone else that is the same thing is conspiring with them in the neutral sense of the word. But we understand the way that people on your planet typically use the word conspiracy. It usually is given a negative context. But again, the idea is that people who have fear-based belief systems will see conspiracies under every rock, and they'll experience the result of that. What do you prefer? So, if you don't prefer to experience that, have a positive-based belief system, and even though you might observe that there might actually be a conspiracy somewhere, or you might observe that someone else is saying there are conspiracies everywhere, that doesn't mean that any so-called conspiracies will affect your life in any particular way at all, because you'll be on a different frequency, you'll be on a different wavelength, and whatever it is their intention is will simply have no ability to affect you in any negative way. So it's your choice.
There are no negative entities on this planet that you're aware of that...
Of course, there are many entities on your planet that are negatively oriented, but so what? What's that got to do with the life that you choose to experience? Why not simply exist on a wavelength that will make whatever it is they're doing completely ineffectual for you? So in that sense, you won't care whether there are negative entities here or there or anywhere, because they'll simply have no effect on you. Do you understand? The more you focus on the idea that there are negative entities, the more you become negatively oriented. In fact, that's actually what they rely on. Do you understand? That's the trick. The idea is that they want you to think they're more powerful than they are. And their power comes from getting you to believe they're more powerful than they are. So you give over your power. And thus, you are succumbing to the negative idea that they're perpetuating. But they don't really have more power than you do. They just want you to believe that they do. And when you believe that they do, then they do. Because you give it to them. So don't fall for the trick. Don't get caught up in the idea that there may be negative entities. Of course there are. But so what? What's that got to do with the life you're going to experience?
Nothing.
Well, then, why bring it up?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
I know you. Good day.
I'm very excited to be with you.
We are very excited to be interacting with you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was conversing with Source as I was parking to get here, and it was...
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And it was a very...
Source is your parking fairy?
No. They're
No?
much easier than that, but...
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I was making a lot of demands about my life right now.
Demands?
Yeah.
Demands? Why do you need to make demands?
Because I have this level of frustration about
right.
where I feel I'm willing to exist and be.
All right.
and what I feel is showing up in my life.
Do you understand that experiencing frustration actually prevents you from being where you prefer to be? So you're creating a self-fulfilling negative prophecy?
No, I didn't.
Well, do you understand it now?
Ish, yes.
Ish. All right, ish. When you have negative definitions, negative expectations, you're putting certain expectations upon where you think you need to be, and you're finding yourself not being there, and you allow frustration to come in. The frustration is the result of another negative definition that says that something is wrong.
Yeah.
As soon as you define that something is wrong, something will be experienced as wrong. And it will keep being experienced as wrong as long as you hold the definition to be true, that it's wrong. Therefore, you are building your own frustration. So you're the one creating your frustration by having a definition of what's going on that's out of alignment with your true vibration. The idea is to understand that wherever you are at any given moment, even if it's not where you prefer to be, is where you need to be at that moment to learn what you need to learn. Even if it's only to learn that you don't prefer that moment. But you have to understand there's a big, 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 big difference between neutrally recognizing that you don't prefer something and invalidating that thing with a negative definition. As soon as you invalidate what you don't prefer, you stick to it like glue.
Wow.
Because you're giving it undue attention.
Yeah.
You're giving it undue power. You're assigning more power to it than your definition of preference. And that's what keeps you in that self-perpetuating cycle of frustration, is defining what's going on as invalid. Because then all you're doing is invalidating yourself. Because you create and attract every experience for some reason. And if you invalidate the reason that you attracted the experience to yourself, you can't get out of that experience what it is you could be getting out of that experience in a positive way, because all you're doing is assigning it, filling it with negative vibrations. Therefore, its only possible opportunity is to provide you with more and more amplified negative experiences, because that's what you're funneling into it, is invalidation. So it will reflect invalidation back to you, and you will feel invalidated, and you will feel upset, and you will feel constricted, and you will feel frustrated because you're invalidating yourself. Remember, physical reality is just a mirror. Just a mirror. And if you're seeing a frown in the reflection, you can't invalidate it because you know the frown is coming from your own face. So you're invalidating your own state of being. Again, you can recognize, oh, well, I don't prefer that state, but I'm not going to invalidate it, because by seeing the frown in the mirror, I see that I'm not in the state I prefer to be in. So thank you, frown. I will now turn you upside down. And I will smile because that's what I prefer. And I don't care if you smile back, but you have shown me that smiling is what I prefer. So I will smile. And oh, look, what a shock. The reflection is smiling back. Because it has no choice when you actually finally decide to smile at everything that happens, because you know it's going to serve you in a positive way, because you say so. If you're going to make demands, make the demand on yourself that you validate every single experience in your life, because you know it can serve double duty. And would you prefer it to serve you negatively, or would you prefer to serve you positively?
Positively.
Then demand of yourself that you always treat every situation in a positive way, and you will always get the positive experience without invalidating the one you don't prefer.
Can you give me an example of that?
Yes, I can. We have told this story before. The radio thief.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this?
No.
All right. A friend of the channel's is passionate about music. Passionate, passionate, passionate all day long. And is a musician. And one of the things that he loved to do was listen to music on the radio in his car while driving around your city. Now, he was passionate about buying a certain radio because it delivered the best quality sound. But he didn't have enough money to buy that and saw no other way to get a hold of it. So, following the idea of acting on your highest excitement to the best of your ability, he bought the next radio down he could afford that was still representative of excitement, but it was representative of the excitement he could attain, he could act on even though he could not get the one he initially really preferred. You follow me so far?
Yes, I do.
Now, he had that radio installed in his automobile, and 1 week later, a thief broke into the car, damaged the dashboard, stole the radio, and ran away. Now, many people on your planet would invalidate this, would say, this is negative, this is bad. Why did this happen to me? Something must be wrong. I'm invalidating myself for having created this. I thought I was more spiritual than this. That's the big one in your reality. I thought I was more spiritual than this. That's the trap you fall into. There is nothing unspiritual about what I just described. Nothing. And because this person knew that, they stayed in a positive state. They said, I don't know how this serves me, but it must, because I prefer that it does. I prefer that this serve me in a positive way. I have no idea how this is going to serve me, but I know that it must. So by staying in that state, they went about the typical business that you do on your planet, reported the theft to the insurance company, got reimbursed for the radio, and also got money to repair the dashboard where the damage was done. Chose a particular auto repair shop, went to the auto repair shop. The auto repair person looked at the damage and said, you know, it looks bad, but it really isn't that bad. I can repair that in a jiffy. And did so so quickly, they didn't even charge the person for it. And now the person is standing there going, I have the money to replace the radio I had bought, but I still have the money that I was going to use to repair the car that now I don't need to spend that way. And when they took both amounts and put them together to the penny, it was exactly the amount that they needed to buy the original radio they were originally passionate about. That's how it works when you allow it to. If he had gone into the negative vibration, oh, this is terrible. I thought I was more spiritual than this. This is negative. This is bad. I invalidate this. Then he probably would not necessarily have gotten the same amount of money from the insurance company. He might have gone to an auto repair shop that would have charged him double for doing something that someone else could do for free. You understand? He would have attracted like vibration to like vibration, and would have had a negative experience because he put a negative meaning to it, but he didn't. Put the positive meaning to it, and even though he couldn't fathom how it was going to serve him, it did. And it didn't matter what the thief's intention was. Didn't matter that the thief might have been coming from negative fear-based scenarios of being deprived and thinking that that thief had to steal in order to have, in order to feel powerful. Didn't matter what the thief's agenda was, because it didn't affect the reality of this person who stayed in the positive state. Is that a good enough example for you?
That was a gift. Thank you.
And so are you. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Everything that happens in your life is a gift. And if you treat it that way, you'll experience it that way and spend the rest of your life unwrapping presents. Does that help you?
Enormously. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, thank you. Anchor points are being established for the upcoming transmission from Epsilon. Nania.
Yes, we do have one more person coming up.
All right.
Were you next? Oh, okay, come on up.
All right. I heard you people multiplied quickly, but I had no idea.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Wanted to first
Speak up, and be bold.
Wanted to first thank your organization for putting your videos,
My organization.
for putting the videos on YouTube. That's how you were introduced to me. So
All right.
just want to say thank you. I have a question of curiosity.
Yes.
A lady before us asked you the question about angels.
Yes.
And my question is, and you said that angels were the first layer
The first reflection of all that is. Yes.
of all there is. So my question is, what's the next layers, and do they have definitions or names?
The idea of a vibrational name does exist within them, and you can have a certain translation in different realities or dimensions. that doesn't mean that they necessarily refer to themselves that way. It might just be the way that they are translated in different realities from your perspective.
So I'm not clear. So are there...
In other words, what you call the idea of an archangel, Michael, doesn't necessarily refer to itself that way, but understands that that may be an aspect of itself relative to your dimensional interpretation of its energy.
Okay, let me ask the same question a little different ways.
Oh, all right.
Okay, we have angels, we have souls, we have spirits.
Yes.
And so beyond those three...
Well, you have oversouls as well.
Okay, beyond the oversoul, what is there?
Well,
Going back to all there is.
there can be many different layers of what you might still euphemistically refer to as oversouls. You can give these different levels any kind of a name you want. You can say it's a super soul. You can say it's a universal soul. You can say it's a multiversal soul. You can give all the different levels any names you want, but it just goes on and on and on and on and on in different variations and different frequency divisions until you get to all that is.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Shibai.
Shivai,
I love you, Bashar.
our unconditional love to you as well.
Thank you. You recommend American Botanical Pharmacy for detox, right?
Yes, American Botanical Pharmacy has a very potent detox program. It
Yes.
exists in your Los Angeles area.
Yes, I love it. And so my family live in Japan. So do you have any recommendation detox company in Japan?
Nope.
No?
You will have to do the research yourself.
Okay.
Or you can simply acquire what is from the American Botanical Pharmacy and take it to Japan.
Okay, thank you so much.
Does that help you?
Yes.
Anything else?
And could you tell me about dragons?
Dragon.
Yes.
Well, there are many levels to this idea. Some of this idea exists in a non-physical dimensional reality. Some of it has expressed itself from time to time in your physical reality. But generally speaking, the dragon is the symbol, the archetypal symbol of ancient wisdom of physical reality and power. Mm-hmm. Wisdom and power of physical reality, expressing yourself as fully as you can. It is similar to what we were talking about today in terms of being extraordinary. It is the idea of giving over that power and igniting your life through the fire of the dragon, through the power of the wisdom of your natural ancient beingness, connecting to the earth in a very profound way and yet soaring to the sky by living as your authentic self. This is the symbol of the connection, the ladder, the link between heaven and earth. Yes?
Yes.
It is also sometimes been associated to the idea of certain extraterrestrial beings, symbolically, because of the kind of power they exhibit. Not so much because of how they actually look, although there are some extraterrestrial societies that have interacted with your planet that are a little bit amphibian-like, a little bit reptilian-like, but sometimes they have expressed an association to this symbol because of that familiarity or similarity. But the symbol of the dragon itself is a more ephemeral and etheric one, a more ultra-dimensional one, more representational, symbolic one of your ancient wisdom and power and connection from heaven to earth, and the revelation of secrets and the discovery of treasure within yourself, within your being. Yes?
Yes.
Does
Great.
this help you?
Yes, a lot.
All right.
Great.
Then
Thank you.
go and breathe some fire into your life.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Anchor points are now established. Did you have something to add, Nania?
Yes. Hi, Tadea.
To you, good day.
We have a question from our Ustream listeners.
Yes.
This one is about the children that are born on Esasani.
Yes.
And now that you are transitioning and becoming quasi-physical,
Yes.
can you tell us a little bit about the children that are born on your planet now, whether or not they are quasi-physical when they're born, or
Yes.
they're
They
not
are quasi-physical when they're born. The idea is that a male and a female energy will create an energy bubble between them. And in that energy bubble, a new quasi-physical body will be formed that is representative of the soul of that child. And that child will then, in a sense, connect to that quasi-physical body and have a physiological representation in our society from that point forward. That is how birth takes place on our planet at this time, in our evolution.
Can you share a little bit about when a child is born on your planet, their relationship with their parents, and also their relationship with the other people in your society?
Well, they do have, obviously, a slightly different relationships with what you might call their quote-unquote biological parents, because there is biology involved in the sense that the essence of the energy of the parents is involved in the creation of that energy bubble in which the child's body is formed. And actual quasi-physical genetic material actually extends into that energetic bubble to allow for the body to be formed from the genetic material of the parents. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
So the child does understand, even genetically, that they are connected and related to the parents who have used their genetic makeup to form that energy bubble along with their own energy makeup as well, and relates to them in that sense as biological parents. At the same time, in our society, because we are telepathically connected and because we consider ourselves one marriage and one family, then the adults on the planet are actually the parents of all the children, and the children are the children of all the adults. We live in one family. We live in one marriage, even though there are a number of individuals experiencing a number of variations of that idea within the collective. There is still overall one sense of family. So the child is allowed at age 3 to go wherever they want on the planet, because we know that no matter where they go, they're going to run into someone who's going to treat them like their own children.
So what's happening during those first 3 years?
They are mostly with what you would call the biological parents and their immediate acquaintances, going on whatever adventures the biological parents are going on, following their own excitement, so that they are absorbing from the parents the guide that they need, the guidance that they need to understand the general matrix of the agreement that they have been born into in that particular setup. So the parents help fulfill, help reflect to the child, help the child know, and help anchor into the child in the physical reality the agreements the child made. They help reinforce those attributes in the child that will allow the child to explore their own excitement in the most stable and expansive way possible. Then the child is released with that knowledge, with that understanding, with that stabilization in place to go and explore and express their highest excitement in whatever way, shape, and form they agreed to when they chose that particular theme.
So when the parents are focused on the child, what is their primary energetic attitude towards their child that they're communicating to the child so that it understands who it is and what it is?
Well, unconditional love and support of itself in whatever way it designed itself, in whatever way it chose to be. In choosing the parents and the parents choosing the child from a higher level, that is reinforced. The agreements are reinforced so that the child has clarity about their relationship to the parents, to the world, and to the theme that they are exploring, and most of all, to themselves, so that they understand what it is they are exploring. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. So for the children that were born on the planet when you were more physical, but
Yes.
may not necessarily be grown up in that
There
sense.
was more ritual to it, shall we say. There were rituals that were created that were reflective of the kind of things that we're now expressing simply energetically. That set up certain vibrations that the child would experience that would allow them to be stable in their understanding of their themes of exploration, of their connection to the world, their connection to our society, their connection to the cosmos. A lot of those took the form of music in the sense of setting up certain literal frequency environments that were harmonically representative of all the things that we are now expressing simply energetically to our children. Not that music can't be used, but it simply isn't as necessary as it used to be a long time ago when we were more like you.
So the children that were born that were physical for you,
Yes.
that are going through the process with you of
Yes.
becoming non-physical,
Yes.
how does that express itself?
In what way do you mean?
Well, I guess that was the original question that came in, the idea of the children being born in a physical state when you, personally, let's say, were physical.
Well, I have been only really quasi-physical. And my children, Nania, are quasi-physical as well.
You did see that I was looking.
We have been quasi-physical as a society for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Oh.
Remember, our dimension operates 10 times faster than yours. You understand?
Yes.
So we evolve faster. So what to you may seem to be 100 years, to us is 1,000. Do you understand?
Yes.
We have 1,000 years of evolution for every 100
Yes.
of your years of experience.
Yes. Did you share with me something about how, with your father, that you spent a long period of time with regard to, the contact work and everything?
We experienced a lot of training under our father's guidance and our mother's guidance with regard to the idea of becoming a first contact specialist and continuing the family line. And by the way, my grandmother was also a first contact specialist.
So that's been going on in the family line for a long time.
Yes, it has. There have been some derivations, but generally it has existed in the family line for quite some time.
So is there anything else you can share with us about...
It has been my family line for what we experience to be about 3,000 of your years.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right.
So, and it all sounds so wonderful. I guess I'm just trying to envision, like, if there's a class of young children together on Esasani.
Normally, they can be on the planet's surface, but in many cases, they are actually on the motherships, because the motherships are the cities and the classrooms that explore the cosmos, so they get firsthand experience of what other civilizations are like. I do teach a class of first contact specialists on the mothership.
Yeah, I know that one of the things you do is teach the
Yes.
children also,
Yes.
like groups of children.
The first contact specialists, yes.
So when we're in Hawaii and we're doing our circles with our counterpart Esasani classes, sometimes we're probably interfacing with
Yes,
your...
of course. There will always be overlap in any class structure on other levels, in other dimensions. Not only ours, but on spirit levels as well.
I think the realization is that it's great to be an Esasani child.
It's great to be an Earth child
And
as well.
that was exactly my second thought.
I know, that's why I said it for you.
You read my mind.
No, we're on the same wavelength and having the same thoughts at the same time.
Thank you, Tadeo. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Nania.